Hey there, commercial construction coffee talk fans. Thanks for chiming in. My name's David Corson. I'm your host. I'm also the publisher and editor of Commercial Construction and Renovation magazine. This is what it used to look like. We're digital now, but anyway, picked up an archive here, January 2021. Jason Sweeney, he's construction facilities at AAA. They got about 10,000 locations, but this is down in their Southern Cal headquarters, basically a museum. It's unbelievable the pictures that they have on here. But Jason graced the cover. What a great story. But I always like holding a magazine because I'm digital now. And let's see what I was doing way back when. Oh, I was down at the Georgia Swarm. That's our indoor lacrosse team. They were champions in 2017. Took my high school team down there for the tour to meet some of the guys. And I went to University of Denver, played lacrosse, and a couple of alums are on the team. So got to go down and meet all the guys. And anyway, oh, it looks like I'm on my mini bike there too. Crazy. No helmet, no nothing way back when. We didn't care. But it's always nice holding a magazine, but I don't miss the printer. I don't miss the post office. And it's been an amazing transformation from print face to face to digital. And last year we had 49 million people hit the website consuming content. And this year I'm on pace for about between 70 and 80 million. So to everybody out there that finds us on the web, thank you so much. You're gold in my eyes, and couldn't have done it without you. So we really appreciate you, finding us out there on the web. Normally I'm in my studio, but we've finished our house build, and we're still unpacking. And my studio upstairs is getting rebuilt, so I'm down here in the kitchen, and it's been an amazing 14-month build. Took about 10 months and 4 months of permitting and a little weather delay here and there, but we're moved in. We're still unpacking, and hopefully I'll get in my studio down the road. But it's a nice background. It's not fake. This is what it is. My wife designed the house and built it, and so anyway, it's TGIF today. So hopefully everybody's having a great day. You got the weekend. You got the short July 4th weekend coming up next week. And it marks the halfway point of 2025. So you can sit back, look what you accomplished the first 6 months, tweak, revise, and then pedal to the metal for the last 6 months. And it's an amazing time to be alive and so much going on. And today, I have one of my vendors that I worked with that did my garage doors. Her name is Tina Mueller, and she's with Haas Door, and she's the director of marketing. Tina, say hello to our listeners out there in Commercial Construction Coffee Talk.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to have the chance to meet with you and to speak with David. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, Tina's company did my garage doors, and it was an awesome process to go through. And I found them. I got a press release that I was going to post, talk to the agency. One thing led to another, and boom, we have the doors, and they're beautiful. And went through the whole process that we'll discuss during the episode. But it's always nice to have vendors that you can talk to, and then you can see the finished product. And we're actually, as soon as we get kind of unpacked here over the next week or two, we are going to have the photographer come out and take some interior shots. I think I already have the drone footage from outside, and we're giving the
Mhm.
house a big splash in our residential section in issue 7, which will probably post the end of July, beginning of August. So everybody can kind of see in the spec house that we did. And my wife designed it, and we built it as a self-build, and it was an amazing experience. And we're looking forward to doing. We're bidding on a big renovation and another new build. So all the vendors that we used and contractors that we built with, we're going to bring all those people back and continue on because all the experiences I've had have been first class with the people that we've worked with, just like Tina's firm. So, Tina, the way this is going to work is we're going to do it in 3 parts.
Okay.
You're going to tell your story, where you grew up, went to school, kids, sports, what have you, and how you ended up at Haas Door. And then
Okay.
we'll talk about, uh, the roller coaster that we've all been on over the last 5 years, and then how, weathered the storm, any lessons that you learned and how you made it through, and then any trends and all about Haas Door and so forth. And I can interject how, what we went through, when we got our doors done for our project. And then you'll finish up by leaving your contact info and one positive thought or phrase to leave with our listeners. So, with that said, the floor is yours. Tell us your story.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was born in Florida and then we moved up here to Ohio when I was about 5. So I grew up right in this area where Haas Door is. And I went to Bowling Green High School and Bowling Green University. I ran track in high school. I was not the greatest, but I did that. That was my sport. I enjoyed it. And then I
What
went to
did you run? Were you a hurtler? Were you a sprinter?
hurdler. Yes.
Yeah. I ran the hurdles
300
too. I
hurdles.
ran track, so
Yeah.
I ran hurdles. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I'm 5'3" running those hurdles, but 300-meter hurdles were my sport back in high school. Yeah, so it was fun. I fell sometimes, but it was fun. And then I went to Bowling Green State University for visual communications, then went to University of Toledo for to get my MBA. And so I've always been in the building industry. So I started out in graphic design with a manufacturer and then kind of just moved up into the company through there and stayed in the building industry. Um, then I stepped out for just a little while to get some experience with having my own sales force and organizing a sales force. And so, kind of a funny story how I got to Haas is that I really heard about how great the culture is because it is in my hometown now of Wasion, where I live, and everybody would talk about them and how good they are for their to their employees. And so I started to bug the VP of marketing and say, "Hey, I really want to come work for you." So I think I emailed him every week for for a month until he finally started talking to me, and that's how I started working at Haas because they had such a great reputation of a great culture and taking care of their people. So I've been here for going on 9 years, and I do have 2 children, and we live here right in Wasion. My husband is a retired state trooper, and he had to live in this area, so it worked out really well for us that I found a great company near us. And then my daughter ran hurdles. She was much better than me, so she holds the record. I do not.
The apple
um,
doesn't fall far
oh,
from the
where from?
tree, right?
No. Yes. And so I went on, and then when I was having children, I went into martial arts. So I have a second degree black belt in American Kempo karate, and I've also trained Krav Maga for 3 years. So that keeps me busy on my off time. The kids don't like that stuff, so they stay out of it, but it's something I always enjoy.
Two
So
things. Bowling Green, Eagles, right? Great hockey team.
Falcons,
Falcons,
yeah.
Falcons. Yeah, I knew it was a
Great
bird.
hockey team.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
love hockey.
I went to University of Denver, so we play in the NCHC. We play Miami, but Bowling Green,
Hmm.
they were in the playoffs this year, and for trying to get into the Frozen Four. Always have a good hockey team, and
Hmm.
obviously Toledo that they play all the big boys in football and everything else, so they're
Yeah,
hanging in there as well. But been to both of those places. My parents used to live
yeah.
in Dayton, so I know all those. Right up 75, you're going to hit both eventually if you get out of the state. So, but yeah, talking about track, I was a
Yeah.
sprinter and hurdler, and when I went to prep school, I ran track. I didn't want to play football. I was a hockey lacrosse player, and I didn't want to get hurt, so I ran cross country and I ran track, and then I picked up a lacrosse stick and I became an excellent lacrosse player. And I played hockey
Wow.
my whole life, but it's amazing how I just became a better lacrosse player. But all the track and all, I pole vaulted, I did all that stuff. I love track. It was the best. Hurdles, you know, it
They're
I
entertaining.
yeah, I ran the 220. I ran, I did the hurdles. I was a sprinter, and but it was a blast. I thoroughly
Yeah.
enjoyed track. Because it's all you. It's you again. It's you. And if you,
Yeah, it's really fun. I was a sprinter, so I didn't do any of the field events, but I did the 4x1, 4x2, and both hurdles. So I was
Mhm.
always keeping busy during the meets, but it was always such a great time. And I'm still a track junkie, even though my daughter no longer runs. I watch it on TV, and my husband's like, are you watching track again? And I'm like, yes, that and hockey. He'll watch hockey with me, but track, he's like, oh, I'm glad we don't have to watch that anymore. But it's fun. It's great. It's fun to watch everybody push themselves. It's a good sport.
Well, I can
Yeah.
appreciate your bug in the market because, in sales,
Hmm.
the first no is never the no that the reason why they're not going to get you. Sometimes you have to ask
Right.
10, 20 times, and if you bug them enough, you'll really find out what the true story is. And then
Yes.
and if you can go and bug that person for as long as you want to hire that person because that person, look how many times you had to contact that person before you even said, okay, why should I hire you? Although you are
Yeah.
aggressive and you keep pestering me, tell me why I should do it, right? And here you are,
Right.
X amount of years later. So congratulations to you.
Oh, well, thank you. It's been a great 8 years. So I always say you're working hard and you gotta have fun while you're working at it and enjoy the people you're with and have quality people. And that's what you find at Haas. So I was really excited to move to Haas Door. So it's great.
Well, having an
Yeah.
excellent product is also
Yes.
helps your selling cycle or your marketing cycle. And
Yes.
like I said, I got the press release from your PR agency, and that's
Hmm.
how we started and that was a marketing gig. I get a million of them, and
Hmm.
I was building the house and building my files, and one thing led to another, and here we have it. Before we got on, we were talking about the heat, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I got the thicker doors because I'm telling you, my garage is cool, and it's about with heat index today, it's about mid 90s down here with serious humidity and
Hmm.
be 102, 104 with the heat index, and I go out in the garage and it's not hot, and
Right.
and just the whole process, and we'll discuss this as we get further into our episode, but
Yeah.
the whole process with Haas from the beginning to the end, 100%
Hmm.
glass, and you were my first vendor that we had in our residential section.
Hmm.
Launch it, I think I'm going on 8 or 9 months now, but
It's great.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was awesome. So,
Yeah.
but before we get into the product,
Hmm.
let's talk about lessons learned. You look back, March 2020, everything's
Hmm.
cranking, cranes. I don't care what city you went in, there's always cranes or construction. Everything was booming, and then boom, everything kind of sat still. Oh, it's going to be a
Hmm.
couple weeks, couple months. Here we are, 5 years later. We're still talking about it. Talk about how Haas kind of weathered the storm because a lot of the people that I've talked to over my years,
Hmm.
my podcast, that they found that they were some of the best years because they found out about their people, they kept the company culture, and and a lot of people did a lot of renovations on their homes over that time period. And what our listeners might find of interest that you guys experienced up there at Haas.
Sure. Well, it kind of segues right in from why I came to Haas with that the culture was good. And like you said, when the product is a quality product, it pretty much can sell itself. And that is one thing about Haas Door is the culture really drives the quality of product. So one of our mottos is we hire quality people to produce a quality product. And so we really hire people who care about what they're doing and it reflects in the product itself. And so, and that really kind of segued with being known in the industry. It's very interesting from a brand perspective that Hastor may not have the highest brand perspective, but when you look at Hastor's ranking with builders in a known quality product, we're in the top three con- consistently. And so I really like that because when they're asking about a quality product, they're talking about us. And that does come from our culture. So that kind of helped us all the way through the rocky years or the up and down roller coaster because we had built a reputation of our culture, of who we are as a company with our integrity and our people that work here. So it really started to become a partnership with our dealers, like responding to what they needed to get them through the up and down years and having a quality product that performs extremely well and that a company who stands behind the product to make sure the quality is there made it very easy for us to continue and to supply. And where there are some things we had to work with our dealers with on, Definitely. And we responded to their needs and they really appreciated it. And we could keep moving forward because we're all about doing the right thing, what we need to do, provide a quality product. So that's really helped through the up and down roller coaster, is just having those relationships with our dealers, because people sell to people. They want to know not only that you have a quality product, but there's quality people standing behind that product. And so that really resonated with everybody during that time period and allowed us to keep moving forward and doing well and helping our dealers. So it was really about a quality product and who we are and working together.
Well, I'll tell you, Haas, talking about the quality product, I know the local installer did the installation, and I never seen a garage door built before. I mean, I kind of knew what the
Mhm.
components were, I knew what a trolley was, but I never seen it
Yeah.
done. And the local installer said, we were trying to get Haas forever. They were, they had a great name or whatever, and then now that they finally got you in there, their business has boomed, and
Good.
so they only had positive things to say. But
Great.
I'll give the listeners out there a little taste of when you deal with Haas's.
Hmm.
Uh, when we finally decided to go with you, they have a thing called Haas Create. It's their software
Hmm.
online where you can go and take the picture of your house, you can upload it to their design center, and then you can pick the doors, the finishes, the color, and so you can see in a visual term. Obviously, looking at something online and seeing it in real, two different things. So
Hmm.
after we got everything done. Then they come out, they do their measurements to make sure everything's going, before it goes into production. And then it gets delivered. They come in and in about, I'm going to say it took about 6 hours for them, but they assemble the doors, they put everything in there. And that team of installers was unbelievable that you dealt with down here. Those guys, I mean, you always pick people, when you do something every day, you get really
Hmm.
good. And those guys, they knew everything, and they were so excited to get their picture taken in front of the door. I
Yeah.
don't think they ever did that before. I'm like, hey man, sign up and we're gonna get you in here.
Yeah.
But it was so cool to see them get everything done, and they just knew exactly what was going on. And they said, listen, you have any issues, if you need to have me come out and put
Hmm.
it. So the whole experience was awesome. And I can't tell you how excited we were to put those doors in because people don't think a garage door, they're just garage doors. I'm telling you,
Right.
they changed the facade of your house. And our house is kind of at
Yes.
the end of a cul-de-sac. So really a lot
Hmm.
of people don't use our front doors. They use the side.
That's true.
And so, anyway, our doors are on that main drag in our subdivision. There's only 50
Hmm.
homes that are up here. And anyway, everybody's come by here and we had put this concrete circular driveway and it just looks so nice there. But the doors with the windows in there and people said, oh my God, your house looks so nice on the side. And listen, I'm not the biggest house in here. There's much nicer homes, but I'm telling you, the doors make such a difference on the facade. And
Yes.
I mean,
Well, that was an interesting story, David. Forgive me for jumping in there.
no, go.
When you guys were looking at the tool, a lot of people don't really know what garage door they want. And we have so many styles to choose from because what you said, the impact on the garage door is so real. And right now, the return on investment for putting up a new garage door, either on a new build or on a renovation, is close to 194%. So if you're going to invest $2,000 in because you really want the garage door you want with wood grains and different glass options, then you can look at almost $4,000 going into the value of your house. So it is a great move. Some of the other points you pointed out was the installer really adds to the experience because Haas Door makes the product, but our installers install it and they add so much value, the professional garage door dealer does, because they come out and do that site inspection. And I remember us talking about it where the dealer had came out and they looked at some areas where they can improve the opening to really make the garage door fit well and really had some insights to help you to make a better overall experience with the garage door. So kind of a funny story is I've been working at Haas for, like I said, for a long time already, and we got new garage doors. And I had, of course, because I'm in marketing, so I know what color I want and what glass I want and all of that. So when the installer came out, he really pointed out some things I hadn't even thought about, like the track going up higher to the ceiling. So we had more perceived headroom in the garage, and our big SUV didn't have to worry as much about coming in and scraping through the opening or hitting anything during that
Yeah.
arc. And then what I found, just like you did about the hot and cold, our garage on average was like 35 degrees in the winter. And we live in Ohio. So I did go with one of our thicker doors that has the bulb seal and has a very good U factor. So it has a great energy efficiency. And now in the winter, even in sub zero, I'm between 55 and 65 degrees in that home. And people, I don't think, understand how important that is because a lot of times now, like you said, you drive up right with that curb appeal right to the home. So that impact of that curb appeal or coming into the home is important, but also that garage door is built right into your home now. It's not even just attached. A lot of times you have rooms above it or the kitchen's next to it, and how you are heating that room. So that U factor has become more and more, in the energy efficiency of the garage door has become more and more important. Because before, everybody used to just get like, oh, just give me a non-insulated door. Now everybody is starting to understand the importance of the garage door to the efficiency of the home because where it is placed, and they're looking more at that thermal performance. And it is becoming a big trend. Everybody switching to U factor to make sure you are keeping that warm, cool in the summer and hot in the winter with that garage door.
The
Yeah.
we had, when we went through the designs we went through with the software,
Hmm.
we weren't gonna put windows, and
Right.
we were just gonna go with a plain door. And we drove through the neighborhood, and my wife was, she's out there on a project right now this afternoon. Anyway, she's taking pictures of all that stuff. We weren't gonna put windows in there, but then when the installer came out to do the measurements so we could get it into production, he's like, "Why aren't you guys putting windows in there? You can get
Hmm.
it reflected, or you can see through. Some of them are translucent, where they're a little blur. There was this house that we used to go over the dam up to the project when we were building, and
Hmm.
we kept looking at that, and I'm like, I just don't know if I want that or not. But
Hmm.
he came out, he goes, "Oh no, I'm telling you, you put these windows in, uh, they'll be mirrored, they won't be able to see, and
Right.
one of the best decisions we made. And then there's some accessories that you can add and so forth.
Hmm.
And but we wouldn't have thought about it until you actually think about it. And
Hmm.
you do have a lot of different options, but if you have kind of a foundation, the way that you want to do it, listen to the people, the manufacturer or the installer, because they're doing it day in and day out, and they're going to tell you, hey, you don't need it there, or this you really want to do because it's going to
Hmm.
that wow factor that you're looking for. And then if you ever do resell your house, that you got the insulation, and it's going to maintain its quality of production and all the things that they did, even the weather stripping that they put around there. I mean,
Hmm.
just all those little things that you don't think about. And one of the things I didn't even know that you could do. I mean, I'm in construction, but
Right.
we did the overhead, but I didn't, I think I did it in my testimonial that the side mounts are really, really cool. And I didn't know that until he came out and told me about it. And I
Hmm.
was like, well, I don't care about that. But on some jobs, when there's a space issue, you might want to have that, and you have that
Hmm.
opportunity. Not everybody does that stuff. And
Yes.
yep. And so it's just these little things that you don't think about. And look, this was our first build. So don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. My wife and I were still married, and we just celebrated our 30th anniversary, and we've been together 33 years. But people are like, "Oh, I could never build a house with my wife," and I said, "No, no, listen, 95% is negotiable, 5% is not. But if it has anything to do with color or anything, I just go with the flow." But
Hmm.
the thing was that when you're looking at things, people don't just they just don't think it's just a garage door. Mm-mm. It's your
Right.
insulation. It can affect your aesthetics, your electricity bill, and
Hmm.
I told my wife, I go, look, we are not going to throw a bunch of stuff in this garage. I want it to be a surgical center when we go in there. I don't want to have any clutter. We want
Hmm.
it clutter when we come up there, but and they're quiet. They go up. You can program
Hmm.
it. So if you have a delivery and you're out of town, you can give that person the code. He can go in
Hmm.
and he can call you, I'm leaving, and boom, you can close it. I mean, it has so many options that you just don't think about, whether you just
Right.
you go get a regular garage door. I look at garage doors completely different than I did before I went through this process. And we learned a lot. So now I'm bidding on a huge renovation and another new build. And we're going to take a look at this renovation this weekend. And um, we're going to toll it. I know the garage, it's an older home, so I know that those doors are probably plain Jane, but
Hmm.
we're going to pitch it. And we have this house kind of as kind of like a showroom saying, hey, this is what we do. This, you could do this. You don't have to go with our colors, but you can design your own door. And this is the way that you want to do it. And but before I did it, I was just thinking, oh, it's just a garage door. We're just going to put it in. It's going to
Right.
go. It's not like you can't look at it that way. It's the same thing with
Yeah.
right?
Right, you can't because, well, everybody always knows entry door, but the garage door is really trending up for importance because of what you said about driving right up, and everybody goes in and out of that garage door. And everybody who comes up to park, like even my house, you pull up right in front of the garage door, and then you get out and you walk around to the front door. So the garage door importance for curb appeal has really continued to trend and get stronger and stronger. And so it is a bit important decision, and you don't really know how impactful it is until you start looking at it. And that's one of the things with the Haas Create tool that you mentioned before. You can take a picture of your home or your remodel and put it up on the program, build any kind of door, and then every decision you need to make for the aesthetic is there. So you can look at all the different kind of glass types, and to your point again, we have translucent mirror that is reflective when the garage is dark, and then when the garage is lit, it has a dark glass look and becomes a little translucent. We have rain glass, we have obscure glass, so there's tons of that. And then we have five different wood grains in every color. We have solids, we have American traditions. So the tool really actually lets you try on, we always say it like trying on clothes, try on different designs and models and colors on your home because it just makes it easier. There's so many options to choose from. Using the tool is really beneficial, and then you can keep it. You can put it on Facebook and say, hey, which one do you guys like better, and get information from your friends. And then when you're ready, it's really useful tool. And this is what is unique about Haas Door's tool is our tool connects right to our dealers. So when you're ready to get a quote, all you do is submit the project right in the tool to a dealer, ask them to quote it, and then they email you back a quote with your picture of your home on it and all the details. So then all you have to do is decide when you're ready and then let them know. And something else you brought up earlier was it installs in one day. So
Hmm.
when you're looking at, oh, I don't want to do windows, I don't want to do siding because it's just going to be a mess. The garage door, they come in, the dealers take the garage door down and then put the new one up in one day, and it's beautiful. So it's such an impact in such a short amount of time. So it's a great choice.
Yeah, like I said, in our older house, we were there 17 years, and I had, a couple springs I had to replace, and the motor, just things to go back. One
Yeah.
of the things that the installers, and even when he came out and do the measurements, we discussed, I understand about maintenance. Maintenance is key. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. You maintain, it's like your body. You maintain your body, it's going to last. You can run hurdles the rest of your life. You might not
Yeah.
be fast, but you can still do it. But the garage door is the same thing. If you take care of them and make sure that, and you guys have a maintenance program that you offer too,
Hmm.
affordable. And but the thing is that you've covered all of the bases from the quality and the production. The installers are
Hmm.
great, first class, and then you do have that maintenance program, and they understand everything that's gonna, wear or tear. Nothing's gonna last forever, but the bottom line is that you have the people to go to, and they're very, very responsive. And like I said, I had never seen one built, but it was amazing. I wish I would have done it in time lapse, but I probably could still do it with my editing tool. But it was so cool to see them, how they did it, from t coming in from the truck unloading
Hmm.
everything, and then they start to build it. Then they put the rails and the trolley, and then
Hmm.
it was so cool to watch it because I've seen a million garage doors in my life. Whether
Hmm.
it was just driving around, you don't even think about it. But then when you see it and you watch it get built, it's like, wow, this is artwork as far as I'm concerned. And and like I said, when it's all done, like at this house, no one comes to the front door. Everybody comes to
Right.
the side door I had my internet guy because we were having issues with the fiber optic cable up in my office, not getting the service. Anyway, he comes to rings the doorbell, and I go, "Why'd you come in this way?" He goes, "Oh, where was I supposed to go?" "Well, you parked in front. Why don't you just use that door?" "Oh no, we always come in the front." I'm like, "Oh no, everybody comes to that other." So you're like one of the few people that came in there, but
You know, it's
everybody
a
else comes to the
stranger.
side door, and they're right there. They're looking at the garage door. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I laughed at him like, okay, do you want to walk around? Because I'll answer that if you want to go through the side door. He goes, no, no, I'll come in. But he left it the thing. He goes, oh yeah, yeah. So, uh, but uh,
Yeah,
it really does make a big difference, and
it does.
you can't, it's a major component of the house. And my office is basically above the garage door, and I can
Hmm.
hear those things. I can barely hear them, and they're insulated. So on the other, I have the storage. We have vaulted ceilings, and the ceiling that's above the garage door. That side of the house is so much cooler than the sun.
Hmm.
Even though the sun's hitting it, bottom line is the one that's above the garage is so much cooler than the one that's on the other side. That's where the garage door ends, but the roof line still goes over.
Hmm.
And it's amazing what a difference it is. But you can't even hear them. I mean, my old door, I
Yeah.
mean, you could hear that thing, man. It's going up and I'm like,
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah.
super, super quiet. And what trends do you see in garage doors as we go into the second half of 2025 and beyond that you see
Oh,
coming? Like,
well, you mentioned it earlier, the big difference between that the windows are making in garage doors. Well, we're really seeing a pickup in lights being added to the garage door because you could update your house and you have a white door and you decide white is what I want to go with just by adding lights into the garage door. It totally makes it look like an updated style, and we have so many different what the average person would call windows. So we have large windows, we have down to smaller windows. We have a new slimline window, which is a long, slender window. And with our new tool, there is a place where you can go in and you can actually, it's called Select View. We call it Select View. You can pick which panels you want your window in. So even if you want a white door, you could put lights down the side and give a really kind of updated modern look to it. Or you could put lights across the top and down the side, just depending. So you can really make the garage door unique. So we're seeing a trend in the lights. Of course, we're still saying with the dark, dusty tones. So we see our carbon black really doing well because that matches, of course, black is just historical. It's so impactful. It gives a beautiful look to the home. It gives a professional, modern look to businesses. And then you can match that up to your accessories on the building. So any light fixtures outside or trim you've got going on. So carbon black is a nice deep black, but not a high gloss. And that's what's trending now is that lower gloss, dark, dusty colors. So we also are seeing espresso do very well, which is a very dark brown, not a lot of red, a very neutral brown. And then a big one for everybody right now are planks. So now there's coming in is plank designs that look like real wood plank garage doors, but you can get them in American walnut, which is a dark brown, really add some character, or cedar, which is a nice um, bright. It's not an orange, but a bright color. And so you
Mhm.
have a lot of trends where people are putting dark on the home and then this really popping garage door to bring attention and be the focal point of the home. So we're seeing a lot of trends in plank, the dark dusty, and adding the lights. Those are a lot of the trends that we are seeing in the actual door itself and increasing that U factor for energy efficiency. I also will bring up a trend that we're seeing now that is relatively, or it's been gaining speed and awareness, and that is really performance to protect the home. So a lot of times everybody talks about a wind loaded or impact resistant garage door, but they talk about it on the coast. Well, now what we're seeing is we have seen that garage doors, when there is a severe storm, either a tornado or a hurricane, if that garage door stays intact, 90% of the homes where that garage door stayed intact, the home stays intact. If that garage door fails, you can get the side walls blow out or the roof. And so people are seeing that to have that garage door to code. And even in my area here in Wasion, due to tornadoes, they said I should have, or this is a good site for you guys to know. It's called Inspect to Protect. You can go on that site, put in where you live, and it will tell you what kind of code you have to have for your garage door. And so it can really protect your home. And even in areas like in Wasan, where we're not really thinking of it because you always think of hurricane, you can get a wind loaded garage door that will protect your home for tornado codes and for storm codes, and just keep, because of that high correlation with that garage door. So that is another trend where end consumers, builders are getting much more knowledgeable on and really looking at for beyond the coast.
Yeah, listen, we're 4 hours from the coast, whether it's east or so forth, and but the hurricanes that come through are like last year, the one that hit I forget which one, the one that came up, ripped through Atlanta,
Mhm.
and then hit Western Carolina and Tennessee.
Yes.
And but the bottom line is we're so far from the coast, but still you still get the force that's coming in. It flooded
Hmm.
Atlanta, did a lot of damage in South Georgia, and then just, whacked Asheville, which is probably 2 hours from me, northwest of us. And some of the homes that were updated, like you said, the garage
Hmm.
doors were still standing, and other ones that were older or whatever, they went kaput. And so we get that stuff. And I never even thought of it. You think about tornadoes, and when the sirens go off,
Hmm.
everybody here has a basement, and but you never think about the garage doors. But you're totally correct on that if the garage door stays intact, most likely
Hmm.
the rest of your facility, your building is going to stay intact and too. So it's not just an aesthetic thing; it's also a safety
Right.
issue. So we were thinking about that because
Hmm.
we had a basement, but when we cleared the land, it wasn't cut the right, and we're up by the lake. So the DNR, which is the Department of Natural Resources, they run the whole gig up here by the lake, and
Okay.
can't dig. So we were gonna have to bring like 400 loads of dirt to raise the house up. And I was building it for my mom, who's 85, and my sister, she's a little younger. But I said, look, we're gonna build a downstairs. So if you guys wanted to come hang, you have a place to stay, blah blah blah. Anyway, I called him up. I said, look, I'm gonna have to, I can go build a house when I'm gonna build that area downstairs, and our driveway was going to be a roller coaster. So the grader was like, just get rid of
Yeah.
the empty nester house. What do you want all the space for? They're going to have plenty of space. So I called my mother. I said, look, I know you're going to have to go down the stairs to get to the basement anyway in the back. Here, you won't have to do it, and you'll have plenty of room. We won't be on top of one another. But I'm getting rid of the basement because it's just too much, and I don't want to deal with heating and concrete, electrical. I can go down,
Yeah.
kitchen for you. We got a huge one up here. But putting it on there, it just, I'm telling you, it was an awesome decision. And we had looked at other garage doors, but I'm just telling you, this, when you talk to people and you get the vibe and you see how things are done, you're like,
Hmm.
I'm going with that company. I don't care if that other one's cheaper or this one's a little more, budget wise. The bottom line is you get what you pay for. And sometimes
You
you
do.
just you got to go with your gut. And
Hmm.
when I was looking through it, everybody was, totally professional. And
Hmm.
but we went with the carbon black. We did
Yes.
board and batten outside, so we had that trim on there, and we haven't put our accessories on there. They're sitting out there, and we're just
Hmm.
kind of thinking, well, maybe we'll put them on, maybe we'll. And I'm like, whatever you want to do, babe. It's up to you. And but the doors themselves, I'm telling you, it's such a difference, and I never thought about it before, and
Well, and you guys went with American tradition style too, where you kind of picked up that board and batten on the front of the garage door. So I
Right.
thought that was a great choice. Your wife really picked a nice door
We were just
to go
going to
with
do
the
a
home.
plain one because we drove through and there were a couple other
Yeah.
people, I don't know what kind of doors, but we were looking at other people's and we have a black and white trim. That's our thing. And we have
Mhm.
inside it's black, white, and we have some wood, but it's mostly the gold, black, and white. And well, we looked at everybody else's and we were just going with a plain Jane black door. And then when we went on with the software, uh, when he came out to do the metric, I goes, "Oh, you guys should put the windows in there. You're missing out on
Mhm.
it." And then, we chose the thicker door. And then he's like, you should put the battens on there. And we were just sitting in the garage and he was just playing on his tablet. He goes, "Hey, this is what you want to do." And we are like, "Oh yeah, let's go that route." And and then when it comes, it's all in boxes. And 6 hours later, they're installed.
It's up.
It's
Yeah,
up.
because a lot of people where you are, like Georgia, correct?
Hmm.
They're not thinking about necessarily the thermal performance of the door, but when you guys talked about it and the dealer helped, you went with our 2-inch door, which has a great thermal performance and a bulb seal for air infiltration. So you have a really nice sound door, but it also not only heat and cold, but if you're in there, you're doing a lot of people around here in Ohio have garage parties. You keep the door open, then at night you shut it, and it helps with sound too. So there's a lot of benefits to that thicker door for performance, for sound protection, and just the aesthetics that you can get. And it was really great to see that look of the American traditions matching your board and batten. So it was a good choice, but the tool allowed you to do it because I remember you were thinking, um, if we don't like it, we'll paint it. And I was like, well, there's no need to paint it. Go ahead on the tool and check it out. So it was a really good decision to use the tool and really narrow down your choices
And
that
listen,
way.
your doors, they get spec'd for, residential, but you
Hmm.
have the commercial component because a lot of buildings these
Hmm.
days getting, I just wrote my column in my residential column that the bridge between residential and commercial, it's becoming close together. So your doors
Yes.
get spec'd for commercial projects, correct as well?
Yes, we have residential and commercial, and the American tradition style, which is typically a residential style just because of the aesthetic look. It's commercial. It goes all the way up. We can get 16-foot tall doors in that style, so it's a really nice. Now people are not really worrying about as much if it's commercial or residential, but does it meet the requirement of the code and the look? And so you can even get some really beautiful wood grains doors in commercial too, because people are just wanting the aesthetic to improve the look of their project and they want that quality and that performance. And so, yeah, it's becoming more important and you can get residential and commercial. And a lot of times it's the same thing, it just goes taller and has a more robust track for commercial because you're using it more. So
A
there's a
lot
little bit
of
difference.
a lot of the craft breweries or restaurants, you'll see them in
Hmm.
hotels where they'll pull those doors up and they'll open them up. It gives you fresh air in there, and they might have a little patio in there, and it gives them that in and out. And then if it rains, they don't have to worry about it. They just put the garage door down, and the facility is sealed. So this is not just a residential gig; it's a commercial gig. And if you're going to roll out, 30 or 40 of these new prototypes that you're thinking of putting a garage door in. Haas
Hmm.
Door could be your answer because they understand both of those kind of markets. And when we were talking about it, when I told you, I said, look, we're going to add this residential column, but there are a lot of commercial gigs that are out there. So you could get the best of both worlds because all the people that are building all these places, they got to live, they're living in some place and they might not have thought about it. And, like I said, that cross-pollination is really key. If if there was someone out there on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk and they're listening to our conversation and
Hmm.
maybe they're thinking about, maybe a renovation or a new build they're doing or a commercial project that they were thinking about, putting, commercial garage doors in there for just aesthetics or for an outdoor patio to go out, how would someone reach out to you, to talk about Haas Create the software or, roll out and how they would go about, how would they reach out to you?
Very easy. You can go to two different places because they actually take you to the same place. You can go right to our website at haasdoor.com, and that's HAASDOOR.com, and then click on Find a Dealer. and you can find a dealer near you that has Haas Door products, and they will help you go through all of the options. So you can just walk them through what you're looking for, what competitive advantages you want to do if you're a builder and you want to have some competitive advantage by using the garage door as a differentiation piece. They can help you with that. And the Haas Create tool can actually help you find a dealer too. So you can go through that and then go through and pick a dealer and send a project to them. So you can get there both ways. But that is the best way, is to go to haasdoor.com and select find a dealer near you.
So I'll put that in the description that when I'm doing my
Great.
editing and so forth, and I'll put some edit captions in there as well as you're watching the video. I'll put that in there as well. And
Okay.
but like I said, totally satisfied, 100 more than 100%. And if my wife comes in, she'll tell you the same thing. I mean,
Okay.
but like I said, I didn't know about garage doors. I know what, hey, they go up and down. You think about all the things there are. Once they're in there and you go through the process, you're not gonna look at it the same way. You're gonna look at them completely different, and
Yes.
well worth and have fun. The software is so user friendly. It's you click here, you click there, you put your other, and you can see and you can make a decision without having to go, well, I wonder what it's going to look like. Well, they're going to look just like they are, but better in real life. And
Right.
it's like watching the Falcons on the TV. But you go to the real game, it's so
Yeah.
much nicer, right? Or when Tina was running the hurdles, you saw the video. You go watch her do it in real life. Hey, she was awesome. So much. You know where I'm coming
Yeah,
from. So,
I do.
so
I do.
but so if as we finish up, if there was one positive thought or phrase that you'd like to leave with our listeners, like I said, we're at the halfway point of the year and we're going to ending Q2. We're going to start Q3 and 4, and before you know, it's going to be December 31st and the end of the year in 2026. Here we come. What would that positive word or thought that you'd like to leave with our listeners?
Um, I would say that uh, who you are as a company and um, what your product quality is like, that makes a difference. Working with people, walking with integrity, and offering a right product, that makes a difference. And it really lets you enjoy what you're doing and enjoy working with the people that you work with. So I would say people matter, and reach out in a personal way and talk to people.
It's just like track. There's no I in team, but when you're a hurdler, you're on the team, but it's all you. But you're still, trying to win the meet and everything and all
That's right.
and those points, the sum is always bigger than the whole. And it might come down to, hey, Tina, we need to win here. You gotta take one, two, or three, and we're gonna take this meet, right? And
That is true. You want to win, but the coach wants you to win for the team.
yeah,
So, yeah,
exactly,
you need
exactly. Yeah.
points. Yeah.
It's funny. I had the surface material a guy that we did, and he had the same kind of thought. He was like people, product,
Mhm.
3P. I forget. Anyway, it was the same kind of gig, and so it's amazing that people.
Well, with the internet, with how much you can get on TV, what you can learn on YouTube, and like look at how much information you provide. People are educated. Builders, remodelers, and end consumers are educated on the product. What they don't know about, and what starts to make a really huge difference, is the company behind the product. They want a high quality, good product, and they want the company to be a high quality, good product also. So it matters.
Yeah, and listen, you can't do it all yourself, so you got to have
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
And
you got to have people.
when you're on a track team, the coach is really important. You know who the best person? It's the trainer who's got to wrap you and make sure that you're gonna be able to get up and do the 220 after you banged your knees on the hurdle,
Yeah.
right?
Always wrapping those legs for
Yeah. No,
extension plans.
I'm looking back. I'm like, ouch. Getting the
Yeah.
getting the ultrasound. Yeah, let's get this going,
Yeah.
man. We got to get going. Come on, let's go. Shake it
Just
off.
wrap it up. You'll be fine. Just go ahead
Yeah,
and run. You'll be
absolutely,
fine.
absolutely. So, a few things before we settle up here and we finalize this episode. Number one, if you're out there on the construction site, we want you to be safe. I want you to,
Yes.
go home, have dinner with your family, and have fun that night, get some REM sleep, and be able to go do it the next day. Number two, really sizzling hot out there. So you got to stay hydrated and liquefied. That's the athlete. That's the track guy in me. You got
Yep.
to stay liquefied. So put some electrolytes in your water. If you're just drinking water, drink lots of it all day. Number one, you're not going to get headaches. You're not going to make mistakes. You're going to feel better, and you're going to sleep better. And you're going to have an awesome day the next day. Last but not least, hit the like button. So the algorithms on YouTube, so people can find this discussion with Tina and Haas Door, and we'd appreciate you being a subscriber. So with that, listen, it's TGIF today. You got the weekend, you got the holiday week coming up, 249 years for the good old USA, on next Friday, and then the second half of the year. So with that, Tina, pleasure, and we're doing our wrap up. So I'll be in touch before then, and I'm excited to have everybody that we worked with. When we showcase, what we built, and you know what the most amazing thing on this house was when we finished. My wife and I would say, "Yeah, we built that. We designed it, we built that, and we're going to maintain it." For as long as we're here. And I told her, I said, this is it for me. The only other place I'm going is the old folks home, or if my kid will take me in, one or the other. I'm not moving
Yeah.
again. I'm done. This is it. So, but
Well,
with
I appreciate you letting us be on and sharing, and it was great working with you and your wife on the project. And the dealer was phenomenal who helped install.
it
So I
definitely was
really
awesome.
appreciate the experience and working with you guys. It was very fun and we enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it like I said, 100% plus, and it was a very pleasurable experience, and we're excited that you helped us get our build done. So, with
Great.
that, I'm going to say goodbye from Ohio,
We'll see you. Thank
and I'm
you, Tina Mueller from
yeah,
Haas Door.
and I'm gonna sign off from Lake Lanier, about 25 miles north of downtown ATL, and we will see you next time on another episode of Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. And everybody, listen, like I said, have a great weekend, enjoy the Fourth, and get ready, man, because the next 6 months, it's the golden age and never a dull moment. Keep your blinders on, stay positive, and keep moving forward. So with that, Tina, I look forward to seeing you, and run the hurdles. Awesome hurdler.
Yep.
We love it. And
Yep.
we'll see you next time, everybody. Cheers.